everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing the bad/boring makeup tag. A subscriber of mine, his name is Aaron Glitz, he has a YouTube channel as well. He did this tag. He got it from Teresa is Dead. I do follow her, but I don't remember seeing this video. I probably glazed over it. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I will link his channel down below along with the questions, so you can go check his channel out. And yeah, we're gonna get into the bad/boring makeup tag. So if you want to see what my answers were, then just keep on watching. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit that notification bell, and we're gonna jump into the questions. Okay, so I wrote them down. I have little sticky notes here. The first one is a foundation finish you don't like, and I would say it's probably matte. Like super full coverage matte. The Milani Conceal foundation, it's very thick, it's very full coverage, it's very matte. I don't know. The super full coverage matte foundations do not look good on my skin. They settle into my lines. By the end of the day, it looks like I have full-on wrinkles. I like a little more of a satin or dewy finish, medium coverage. Yeah, so that would probably be my choice for that. The worst mascara you've ever tried. It was a CoverGirl one. It was in a purple tube. I couldn't tell you what the name of it was. That was probably the worst mascara I tried. That was one of those where I was leaving to go to beauty school and I realized I didn't have any mascara on, so I ran into Target and just grabbed one, and it did absolutely nothing. Like, it was hardly even black, didn't make anything thick, didn't make anything longer, like was just, and I don't remember what the name of it was. I think I used it one more time just to give it a shot, and I'm pretty sure I threw it away. And then the next question is one thing you tried once and threw away. It was probably that mascara. There's probably been some lip products that would be in that category. I just can't think of anything. That was like the standout product for me, because usually I will try and give things a few more chances, especially when it comes to complexion products, because sometimes it's the moisturizer that's underneath or the primer, because sometimes products don't play well together. I think I've done it with eyeshadow palettes where I used a palette one time and then was like, no. Usually drugstore. I can tell right away if I'm gonna like it or not. So I know there's been some drugstore palettes that were fine, but I used them one time and was like, no, I'm never gonna use this again, and then passed them on. The most boring eyeshadow palette you own. Now, this is one that I love, but I know I've referred to this palette as boring when I've talked about it. It's from Lunatic Cosmetics Labs. It's probably my Supernatural palette. It is, you know, 5 pans, very basic mauve shades. There's not much even variation between this shade and this shade. This one's a shimmer, this one's a matte, because those two even look similar. You've got a little bit of a deep shade, but not much. Like I said, I do like this palette and I do use it, but looking at it looks very boring. I know, like I said, I've referred to this as a boring looking palette, but I like it. I do use it. It's a good, like, everyday, quick and easy palette, but that's probably the one that comes to mind. A makeup trend you think is boring and you want to go away. And I think it's already started to phase itself out, where people were doing the really big triangle, like with the concealer, like over concealer, over contouring, doing like Instagrammy makeup for like every day. But I think that has already started to kind of phase itself out. People are starting to tone it down. I apologize if I look a little crazy. I only have like foundation from like here up. I have to go to work later, so I don't put foundation from here down because I have to wear a mask all day. So you can kind of see where it stops. So if I look a little weird, that's why, because when I'm at work, this is all, that's all anybody sees. And then the inside of my mask doesn't get as gross. So just figured I would point that out. The worst liquid lipstick you've ever tried would be, hands down, the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lips. And they don't even make them anymore, so I think that speaks. They were so drying. And it's really a shame because Kathleen Lights came out with an Aquarius trio a couple of years ago, and I had it. And I always got compliments when I wore the matte one. Like, it was such a pretty shade. The satin one was nice, but their satin liquid lipsticks don't dry down completely, and I don't even think they're phasing those out too. And then there was a gloss, which the gloss I still own and I keep in my purse, but the matte was, their matte liquid lipsticks are so drying. Like, they would literally suck all of the moisture out. Like, they were super uncomfortable. Like, Mike will tell you, anytime I wore one, I complained the whole time. Like, and they were hard to get off too. Like, it was like liquid sandpaper, but again, like I said, they don't even sell them anymore. So I think I'm not alone in that, but they were, and it's such a shame because, like I said, that was a really pretty shade, but I just couldn't do it. The Kat Von D ones are pretty dry, but not as bad. I haven't come across anything quite as bad as the ColourPop ones. Those ones were bad. What color do you think is the most boring? It depends on what we're talking about. As far as lipsticks, I think like nudes are boring. Like, nudes are pretty, especially like the beigey nudes. Like, it's a beige. Beiges tend to be a boring shade, but I think like nudes are pretty. But again, like, and I love mauves, but like this tone in here, like, it's just, they're just kind of boring to look at. So yeah, I would say beige. And some of like the taupey gray shades, they're pretty, but they're not necessarily the most exciting color to look at. So I would say probably beige is the most boring color I can think of. What brand do you think comes out with boring things? I'm gonna say probably Tarte. Tarte, I feel like, is marketed more towards, you know, the everyday basic makeup wearer. Nothing crazy, you know, the people that work, you know, 9 to 5, just want easy makeup, because their products are good. Like, I like their palettes, their formulas, and their eyeshadows are really like user-friendly, really blendable, really easy to work with. But they don't come out with a ton of stuff that's like, oh wow, that's really cool. I have a couple of palettes, like the High Tides palette, if I can grab it. If I can dig it out, because my eyeshadow's getting out of control again here. This is kind of a fun product that they came out with, but they don't come out with much like this, I feel like. You open it up, and I haven't even used this yet. I had a gift card that my mom's friend gave me for Christmas, and this is what I ended up getting. But you see, like, there is neutrals in here. Like, this triangle is neutrally, and then aside from that pink shade and those colors, the only thing that makes me upset is I thought these were like metallic shadows, and they're pressed glitter, so I don't know how much I'm going to use those. But other than like products like this, a lot of their stuff is just very, like, this is one of the Rainforest of the Sea palettes. Like, it's pretty, but it's not anything revolutionary. So they tend to be the brand that I think of when I think of boring, just because, but they're not trying to be an exciting brand. Like I said, Tarte's kind of set themselves up to be that, like, mid-tier, you know, we're in higher end, but it's marketed for the everyday makeup user, not somebody that wants like bold eyes. Which step in your makeup routine is the most boring? Probably eyebrows. It's one of the steps that can take me the longest. And it's just not exciting, but I have to do it because you've seen me without makeup if you're not new to this channel, because I do film videos without makeup on, because I'm just not somebody that feels like I need to do a full face for every single video. And so I just don't have a lot of eyebrow. Like, it's not from me over plucking or anything. I just don't have eyebrows. They're very light. They're very thin. These are overdrawn, and these aren't as overdrawn as I used to do it, but at least I look like I have eyebrows. But it's not a fun step. And brow products aren't a fun thing to buy either. Like, you can spend a lot on high-end brow products, and it's brow products. So it's just one of those things. If you had to choose, this is the last question. If you had to choose between a good base and bad eyeshadow, or good eyeshadow and a bad base, which would you choose? I would say probably the good base. Well, let me go back. If I didn't have to wear a mask and I was able to go out in a full face of makeup, I would choose a good base and not great eyeshadow, just because when there's makeup all over your face, if it's breaking up all over your face, I feel like that is more obvious than eyeshadow not being pigmented or necessarily blending or being a little bit patchy. Now with the current circumstances and only like this much of my face being shown, I would go with the eyeshadow, but that's because 2/3 of my face isn't visible and I only have makeup on my forehead. So I feel like if my forehead kind of looks bad, all you're really seeing, like all you're really focusing on is my eyes right now. So current circumstances, I would say eyeshadow over base, but if my whole face is visible, I would pick base. So hopefully that answers that question. So yeah, I will leave Erin's channel down below. I will link these questions down below. I'll link the video of his, that way I don't have to link Teresa's channel also, because that's where he got this, was Teresa is Dead. She's funny, she's hysterical. I would definitely recommend checking her out also, but I will link Erin's video and then you can go from there. Yeah, so definitely check his channel out. Make sure you are subscribed. Hopefully this was fun. I thought it was kind of fun. Let me know what you guys thought. And yeah, let me know what your answers to some of these questions would be. Leave those in the comments below. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully everybody is staying safe. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And hopefully I will see you all very, very soon. Bye, everybody.